For the first time in over 25 years, it's time to introduce your Knoxville Smokies.
Go Smokies!
All right, Smoky fans, welcome back to another Pilot pregame show. We got Game 4 coming up between the Knoxville Smokies and the Chattanooga Lookouts. I'm here, Jimbo James Cole Schmelzer, live with Tyson Belton, and we're going to talk to you about Smokies baseball. So with that, I just have to remind you fans that Pilot is committed to connecting people and places with comfort, care, and a smile at every stop. Check out any one of our conveniently located stations and try our delicious burritos, jumbo wings, tenders, pizza, hot home-style meals, and more. Pilot, see you out there. So, Tyson, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, Cole. Doing good.
Good to hear, my man. So we actually had a busy deadline for the Cubs organization yesterday. Ryan Gallagher, Sam Armstrong, two Smokies, they're on the block. They are head to the Minnesota Twins organization. I'm going to run you guys through the Cubs transactions and what they did yesterday, again, with the deadline approaching. The first place Chicago Cubs. So we're going to start with the first one. Michael Soroka being acquired from the Washington Nationals. The former All-Star had 16 starts so far this year with a 4.87 ERA. He is traded in exchange for prospects Ronnie Cruz, the number 13th overall prospect in the Cubs system, and outfielder Christian Franklin, the number 14 prospect in the Cubs organization. The next one, Andrew Kittredge, reliever from the Baltimore Orioles, in exchange for shortstop Wilfrey De La Cruz, the number 17th overall prospect in the Cubs organization. Then next, we got Taylor Rogers, lefty from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, here's the crazy thing. He was double traded. He actually was traded in the deal for Ke'Bryan Hayes, the Cincinnati Reds acquiring Ke'Bryan Hayes just a few days ago. Then shipped right back off. He goes to the Chicago Cubs in exchange for high A outfielder Ivan Brethau. And then finally, the big one, Willie Castro, the utility switch hitter from the Minnesota Twins, goes to the Chicago Cubs in exchange for, again, like I said, Ryan Gallagher and Sam Armstrong, both Knoxville Smoky pitchers. And in return, Ryan Presley, the former relief pitcher for the Houston Astros, DFA'd by the Chicago Cubs to make room for all these transactions here today. Sam Armstrong, he finishes his career with the Knoxville Smokies, 4-10 with a 3.93 ERA in 27 games started. And Ryan Gallagher, he was short-lived here in Double-A baseball, called up earlier this year. He finishes 0-0 with just a 1.59 ERA in 2 games started. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Tyson, just to give us a little recap here on the series that we've had with Chattanooga.
Yep, the series has been pretty well, especially for the Smokies. Starting off game 1, the Smokies did exactly what they wanted to do coming into Chattanooga as they came out and had a whopping 13 runs scored. It was a 13-6 victory over the Chattanooga Lookouts. In the second and third inning, the Smokies really put some points up on the board. In the second inning, they had 6 runs. In the third, they came through with 5 runs. And B.J. Murray also had a 2-run home run in the 6th inning to really put the game to rest and really put the game away. And going into the second game, the Smokies also came out on top 4-1. It was a big game for Pablo Aliendo as he had 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 home run and 1 RBI. But it was really just a great all-around performance from the pitchers and the bullpen, as Tyler Schlafer started it off for us, followed by Mitchell Tyransky, Zach Lee, and Brad Depperman, who had his first save. and gave the Smokies the win. And it was just a great time. But Cole, I heard that you were in Chattanooga for Game 3. Can you tell me about that experience? Like, was it fun?
That's right. Yeah. So my mom, she actually came down with my sister, and I figured, why not go to a Smokies baseball game? I mean, the Smokies are just a great team, a fun team to watch. So they weren't playing, unfortunately, at Covenant Health Park. So we decided to take the trip down to Chattanooga, just roughly 2 hours south of Knoxville. And surprising enough, they're building a brand new ballpark at the end of this season. So just like the Smokies built their brand new ballpark for this season, Chattanooga will have one next season on the south side. But I had to tour the ballpark. The ballpark is very nice, honestly. It's kind of weird because fans can sit right outside the Chattanooga Lookouts clubhouse. So when
Really?
the players come onto the field, you're like, I mean, you're right there. You're maybe like not even a foot or two back of the players. So it's kind of neat. Definitely old school. And the other thing is it's not a lot of outfield seats, maybe a little bit in right field, but they got a little beer garden porch on the left side, but definitely a fun trip. Just going into the recap here that I was able to watch. Basically, it was a domination by the Smokies, 11-3 victory at AT&T Field. Smoky starter Grant Kipp, he set the tone. 5 efficient innings, allowed just 1 run on 2 hits, struck out 6. The right-hander picked up his 6th win of the season and one of his sharpest outings to date. Knoxville erupted early. B.J. Murray, I'll tell you what, B.J. Murray is a player to watch. Went 2 for 4 again last night, including a 3-run home run and 4 RBIs. Casey Opitz, he had a night of his own, going 3 for 4 with an RBI. And Andy Garriola even providing some fuel to the fire in this offense. 2-run single as part of their 13 hits. The Smokies, they broke things open. 6-run 5th inning. And then the Lookouts, they only managed 3 runs on the night. They never really threatened the Smokies at all, and the Smokies basically dominated the game. So it'll definitely be an interesting one here tonight. I'm going to turn back over to you, though. The Smokies, it looks like they're getting back on track here. They had a slow start last week. They didn't really come into their own against Pensacola. They were able to salvage the final 2 games of the series, and they go into Chattanooga, and they're looking hot again. So what can you tell me about the standings, Tyson?
Yeah, I was gonna say those last 2 games against Pensacola, I really feel like really set the tone for this Knoxville Smokies team and let them know what they really had to do to become victorious. And as the Smokies are currently sitting 15-15 as they made their way back into the second place position in the Southern League North, still trying to fight behind the Birmingham Barons as they have been playing nothing but great. They're sitting 21-9, leading the whole Southern League. The Knoxville Smokies are right behind them, but their opponent, the Chattanooga Lookouts, are right on their tails with a 14-15 record. So hopefully we can kind of spread that gap. Going into the Southern League North, Southern League South, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, the team that we faced last week, are still leading that division with the 18-11 record, still going really well for them. Biloxi is coming in right behind them in the second place spot with a 14-15 record. Montgomery is tied with them as well. And the Columbus Clingstones, who are sitting at 12-18, are last currently in the Southern League South. But as you said, the Smokies have really been putting it on these last 4 games, and we really want to see them keep it up. Going into our starting pitchers, we have a great starting pitcher matchup today. Can you tell me a little bit about that, Cole?
Yeah, so we just got the latest news here, a new transaction. Obviously, again, the departure of Ryan Gallagher and Sam Armstrong brought a new face to the Smokies, and that's going to be Tommy Romero. Spent some time with AAA Iowa. He actually made his major league debut already, as he was already with the Tampa Bay Rays. He's been bouncing around, though, a little bit. Spent some time with the Nationals, spent some time with the San Francisco Giants organizations before signed a deal this season with the Chicago Cubs. Again, the 28-year-old from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, is currently 0-3 with an 8.54 ERA in AAA Iowa. Hopefully he can look to turn it around as he will make a start here tonight for the Knoxville Smokies. I'll turn it over to you, though. Chattanooga's got a pretty good arm. What can you tell me about him?
Yes, so it's going to be the right-hand pitcher, Zach Williman, the 6'2", 219 right-hand pitcher coming out of Kent State. He just got signed on June 28th and was activated to make his first start on July 1st. He hasn't pitched against the Smokies yet, but his last outing against Columbus, he pitched a 2.37 ERA with 6 innings of work. He had 5 hits were given up and 2 runs. Also, he had 2 earned runs given up, but he had 7 strikeouts, so it wasn't bad. But his current record, he's sitting at 2-0 with a 2.37 ERA, 19 innings pitched and 15 total strikeouts. So hopefully the Smokies can start getting some hits on him. He is not a bad player, but we really want to kind of turn him over and get those hits going as we've been doing the whole series. And going into the lineups, I know that you're going to cover these lineups, Cole. So tell me about Chattanooga's lineup.
Yeah, so Chattanooga is going to set their lineup like this. Leading off is going to be the hot hitter, Edwin Arroyo. Didn't record any hits last night. Hopefully, though, he's going to look to stay hot as he has been for the Lookouts. Batting second, Leo Balcazar will be at second base. Batting third, the number 4 prospect in the Reds organization, Cam Collier, will be the designated hitter here tonight. Batting fourth, Ruben Ibarra will be the first baseman. Batting fifth, Jay Allen II in center field. Batting sixth, Ethan O'Donnell in left field. And 7, 8, 9 looks like this. Jack Rogers in right field. Austin Callahan playing third base here tonight. And Connor Burns doing the catching, all behind Zach Williman. And I'll turn it over to you for the Smokies. Obviously, we know Tommy Romero making his first start here in Double-A with the Knoxville Smokies. What else can you tell me about the lineup?
Yes, and we hope that this lineup can back up Tommy Romero as he's making his first start. Hopefully he can have a great game, but it's going to be backed up by this lineup right here. Starting off, leading off for the Knoxville Smokies today is going to be our left-handed batter, Brett Bateman, who's going to be playing the center field position today, followed by the switch hitter, all-reliable Pedro Ramirez playing third base today. Jefferson Rojas is going to be shortstop today, followed up by our cleanup hitter, BJ Murray Jr., who's been on a tear lately. He's going to be playing first baseman. Our DH today is going to be Corey Joyce, followed by Jordan Wogu, who's going to be fielding in the left field today. Rayvaj Garcia, who's going to be our second baseman, the switch hitter. Then our left-handed catcher is going to be Ethan Hearn. To end it off, it's going to be Andy Garriola in the right field spot. And fans, if you're not familiar, that the Smokies and Pioneer Comfort are making home runs for heroes. For every home run hit by a Smokies player this season, Pioneer Comfort will be donating $100 to the Wounded Warrior Project. To date, the Smokies and Pioneer Comfort have raised $5,200 for the Wounded Warrior Project, and as BJ Murray has been contributing so much, as he has 16 home runs this year. So that's a lot of money BJ Murray's had been putting into this Wounded Warrior Project. So we hope he can keep it up. But let's get right into our players to watch today. My player to watch is going to be our leadoff batter, Brett Bateman, as he currently is batting .252 and also has 13 steals in the season. He's batting .268 actually against Chattanooga and only struck out six times with 48 at-bats against Chattanooga. So, and we know that Jefferson Rojas led off yesterday, and it was just a great game that he had. So hopefully Brett Bateman can keep that up and keep the energy going, allowing the Smokies to really start off fast and steal some bases and really put some pressure on the defense today.
Yeah, and I'm going to take Corey Joyce as my player to watch here today. Joyce currently batting .263 over his last 10 games with 10 hits and 5 RBIs. Sitting in the 5-hole tonight as the designated hitter. Last night went 1 for 3, 2 RBIs against the Lookouts. And this season, he's racked up 13 total bases and driven in 7 RBIs in total here against the Lookouts. Currently, Joyce is riding a 6-game hitting streak as well as an 8-game on-base streak. So, again, my guy, Corey Joyce, be sure to look out for him on the base pads here tonight. Again, this is the Pilot pregame show. Hopefully we can see another face making his debut for the Smokies here tonight, maybe in relief, maybe in a potential start over the next 2 days. Evan Taylor is the other call-up aside from Tommy Romero. Spent some time with the South Bend Cubs, 3-1 this season with a 3.27 ERA, and he's from Florence, Alabama. So you know that's Mick's favorite because he's an Alabama kid. So hopefully we can look to see him over the course of the next couple days to make his debut with the Knoxville Smokies. But that'll conclude today's Pilot pregame show. Just a reminder, fans, to listen in on games on 92.5 FM, 1180 AM, WKCE, and let's go Smokies.
Fans, for the first time in over 25 years, it's time to introduce your Knoxville Smokies.
Go Smokies!
Woo!